All right, so for one, I want to give a huge shout out to Dolo, the flight boss. I mean, he's the only one I'm hearing speaking on, temperature and how that has a huge effect. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get into that in a second. But if you look at the word, like, let's say a virus, a cold. People say, I have a cold, right? When you have a cold, why do they call it a cold? You know what I'm saying? Now, normally, in heat, these viruses are not known to survive. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they talk about, the whole quarantining and why are we allowed out during the day, but at night they're not. Most of the explanations that I can get from that would be that since it's daytime, then, you know what I mean, the virus is weaker, but it's actually stronger at night where it's like cooler temperatures. You know what I'm saying? That's basically about the only defense that I can see them coming out with if somebody was to ask why do we go out during the day? Can we catch it during the day too? But, besides the fact, okay, look at when you go to the doctor, okay? They take your temperature. And the reason why is because through your temperature, they can tell a lot of your state of being and your condition based on your temperature. If it's very high, you know what I'm saying? If it's too low or whatnot, it's got to be at a certain level where you basically homeostasis and stuff. Now, look at the word the flu. All right, the flu is short for influenza. All right, it don't matter what language you want to break that down in, but influenza, in Spanish you say influencia. All right, and then in English is influenza. I mean, this is basically how it spreads more through influence. And one of the things I agree with is that you can't catch these things. You develop them within you. You know what I'm saying? We talk about, doctors. Doctors are not healers, all right? Doctors are licensed practitioners. They have a license to practice medicine on you. Now, these people right here is the doctors, all right, would be through ignorance or not. This is how they make their money. The more medicine they can prescribe to you, the better it is. See, this whole thing looks like a huge marketing thing, but there's got to be a bigger agenda behind it. All right, because if you really want to look at it, a lot of people have gotten pretty smart, all right, to all the little conspiracies that we can talk on. But think about this. If you're getting a vaccine, all right, and the main agenda here is to inject that vaccine in you, there's got to be more to what is in that vaccine, okay? Now, I happened to see a video, and these videos pop up on my feed. It's so funny, but I happened to catch the perfect videos. I was watching a London Real episode, and David Icke, our boy David Icke, was there, and he said something where I had to look it up because I was like, wow, really? But there is actually a simulated program called Event 201. All right, I'm going to read up what that means, okay? I did a Google search on it. I didn't watch the whole, London Real interview, but I did see this part. But Event 21 basically, I'll tell you right now. So Event 201. All right, so John Hoskins Center for Health Security in partnership with the World Economic Forum and the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation hosted Event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise on October 18, 2019 in New York City. The exercise illustrated areas where public-private partnerships will be necessary during the response to severe pandemic in order to diminish large-scale economic and societal consequences. In recent years, the world has been seen growing in numbers of epidemic events amounting to approximately 200 events annually. These events are increasing and they are disruptive to health, economics, and society. Managing these events already strains global capacity, even absent and pandemic threats. Experts agree that it's only a matter of time before one of these epidemics become global, a pandemic with potential catastrophic consequences. I'll link this article in the description below, but I didn't know this. I didn't know that there was actually a well-placed, high-level pandemic exercise. It was a simulation that happened, and who knows if this is the actual simulation, but there's many different ways you can look at this. See, there's a lot of people saying different things, but it's like right now, I mean, you can pretty much, you'll take anything you hear. You get what I'm saying? So it's important to not really put your energy to the things you hear, rather than just, you know, have them as a journal for yourself of what the possibilities may be. But at the end of the day, you need to understand this. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, and somebody questioned on it, is raise your vibration beyond all this shit. And this is basically what I meant by that. Because here's the thing. See, when people say raise your vibration, there's so many different ways you can look at that also. Because look, if I have water, we're made of water. But if I heat up the water, all right, the molecules start to vibrate and speed up, and they turn into water vapor. So it becomes a gas, and it becomes lighter, right? But then again, we say raise our vibration. When you meditate and you stay very, very still, right? My body feels like it's starting to vibrate, but my waters are very still. I actually heard one of those singing bowl meditations, and there's some of them where it's kind of like woo, woo, but then at times they'll go bing, and you're so still, and everything is so, you know, it's just very still and calm, that when you hear that ding, in an instant you'll just feel like everything just it was like a ripple. You get what I'm saying? Now, the vibrations start that way. There's many different, it's like you have the word light. See, I believe this language, just the words are confusing people, because you have the word light, you have lightweight, light bulb, you know what I mean? So many different ways you can use the word light, even right turn, or yeah, you're right. But, you know, vibration, raising your frequency, you get what I'm saying? And the way I believe you can effectively, because the thing is, I believe everything that you put into this organic computer, okay, is something that's supposed to give you an upgrade, but instead it's giving you a downgrade. And who knows if these injections that people are planning to put in have a lot to do with these conspiracy theories about microchipping and all that. Listen, the technology is way more advanced than you could possibly fathom. You get what I'm saying? So people are actually, instead of people being forced these microchips, but people are now talking about, they're trying to put the microchip on us and blah, blah, blah. You're going to that because you were persuaded to now, you know, feel that you have a need to have to go get this vaccine. Because here's the thing. Not only did people waste all their energy and physical energy, money, into the markets, when I believe really nothing is happening. It's all a frequency manipulation, if you want to ask me, okay? But and I'll get into that in a second. But people waste their hard-earned money to go spend their money on toilet paper, all right? And all the extra food, you know, hoarding stuff. And then when this is all said and done, you're going to have leftover stuff in the house, because it's happened. People said there's going to be hurricanes, tornadoes, and they wipe out the shelves. And then nothing really ends up coming. You know what I'm saying? Because it's happened here. People say, oh, there's going to be a crazy hurricane, tornado, stay indoors. It's happened down here. I go to the supermarket, wipe out the shelves. To the next day, nothing happened. And then what happens? All the stuff they bought, that's just extra stuff they have there. Right? So they took your money. Then they took your energy. Right? And now you're literally, this is basically selling your soul. Putting because they're gonna inject this into your blood, into your essence, all right? And this can go into a very, very deep topic as far as like how this organic computer works and how everything else works, all right? And I'll kind of breeze into that now, all right? But when let's say you're an organic computer, okay? Now, when you have a scientist, look at Iron Man, because we there's a lot of iron in our blood, right? But Iron Man, Tony Stark's, was working day and night in his computer in a couple of the movies, working day and night, you know what I mean, trying to figure out the projects, getting the Iron Man machine on point, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, he's literally working with the computer to make it happen, but it all started from a projection. Now, everybody has a passcode to get into their phones, to get into their laptops, to get into the computer. You have a passcode, right? That only you know. Now, everything is in your mind. If you die and you didn't tell anybody your passcode, nobody's going to have access to that computer, right? But then again, if you shared that, you know, access code with somebody, let's say, and that person was careless with that passcode. Now you have more of a tendency to get hijacked. See, this is not happening here. In actuality, you got hijacked from ignorance because, see, marketing works where you're convinced, or see, the person that's selling you something needs to create a mental a scenario that you need something. You get what I'm saying? The marketing thing works like that. You get what I'm saying? Persuasion, the art of persuasion. They have to create a need for you for the product. So now you went and wasted all your money on groceries, wasted your energy on fear, gave away your power, and now, right, you're gonna go and run. Instead of them chasing you down to put this microchip on you, you're gonna go and willingly do it through more ignorance. You know what I'm saying? When in actuality, your body is perfect. You need absolutely nothing. Now look at the way this works. You have mutation of cells. You have DNA, RNA, right? Temperature, okay? I'm gonna cover temperature real quick. You ever go into, see, this is the thing. It all comes down to breathing. Nobody really knows. See, everybody is breathing, but nobody knows how to breathe. That's the problem, all right? And you connect with nature, all right? You meditate and you connect through breath. You see the word connect, okay? You're making a connection, but how do you make a direct connection? You get what I'm saying? See, if you're in a cold environment, warm environment, right? There's certain breathing techniques. Why do you think Wim Hof, this guy, the Iceman, okay? How does he control his body temperature? Through breathing. Do you notice how when you go in cold water, right? The first thing you go is go, why do you do that? Why do you take a deep breath in, right? You don't notice that? But then if something is hot, you don't go like that. You go, ah. That's letting something out. You're letting air out. So you already have the heat here. So now what you're needing to do is you're looking for the polar opposite without even knowing. Because when something's cold, what happens? When it's cold, you're dead. You're cold stiff. When somebody's mad or they're alive, they're vibrant, their body temperature is a little bit higher, right? But then again, if your body temperature is too high, that's also a bad thing. That means you got a fever. But it could be a good, you see, there's the thing, there's no bad or good. Because if your body temperature went up, it's a bad thing because you don't feel good, but it's a good thing because it's killing something that you have in there. Now, whatever germs you catch from this whole thing, your body is designed to fight anything off. I don't care what it is. But the whole thing is, connecting with nature is literally using the elements to raise your vibration on a cellular level. A lot of people are consuming. What do people do to really actually contribute here? You get what I'm saying? Because think about this. Gold, monatomic gold, will actually raise the vibration of your cells. Okay? You have silver, all right? All these organic minerals such as sulfur, all these things that are basically deficient in most of the foods we eat. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of natural sodium in a lot of the greens. You got stuff like chlorella, spirulina, you know what I mean, celery, all these greens that actually nourish you on a cellular level where you eating that. But the thing is that a lot of people don't turn to that because it's not gonna see, this is the thing. You have to know either you're eating to live or living to eat, because you're eating to live. You would put in things in your body that's feeding you on a cellular level where you don't even need to eat that much. You would actually need to eat less because your body is already nourished, right? Your cells are nourished. See, there's people who eat huge amounts of food and they're still hungry because that food didn't really nourish them. That's the difference between life force, high vibrational food, and non-high vibrational food. I'm not telling you how to eat. I'm not promoting veganism. I'm not promoting none of that. But breathing is also so important. Now, you have a DNA. That's your code. Everybody has a genetic code. That's your genetic code. I can actually make another one of you through cloning, right? Now, see, there's a lot of things that I used to look back at and I stay away from fear, through fear, but you get a better understanding of it. You know what I'm saying? We all do magic. We all do rituals. See, people are afraid to use their blood, right? But then again, you know, you give away your power because it's up for grabs, because you didn't know how to direct it. such as, like I mentioned in my previous videos, when you ejaculate, right? Don't direct that energy. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into a job. That's blood, okay? Is still your essence. Your tears and your sweat, your urine, okay? See, these elements that we use out here, okay, they make you think that it's scarce when it's not really scarce. See, gold is not scarce. That's why the price is so high on gold, because it's so beneficial for you. You could wear gold jewelry and it's going to raise your conductivity. But they make you think it's scarce. But do you know how perfect your body is that you actually, listen, you piss gold. You piss fucking gold. All right? Look up Ormus and then look up monatomic gold as well. All right? You can create these things from your own elixirs. You create all these chemicals within you, right? Through breath, you can create a lot of chemicals that you look outside of yourself to have a spiritual experience. And then people wonder, see, a lot of people try to look for things in other people, when if they sat down and really reflected on the fact that what they look for in other people is stuff that they need to look for in themselves. And the way that they could find it within themselves is to stop using things outside of themselves to have an advancement. Rather, take responsibility for yourself. You see, here's the thing. It's accountability, right? But they hijacked your account, which is your best. This is your computer, and they hijacked your computer. But they hijacked it because you leave yourself open and don't know how to protect yourself. Like, even especially, like, forget, you know, and I'm talking about just on a regular basis. Through ignorance, you consent and agree to certain things, such as like getting a vaccine, such as being fearful in certain situations that you really shouldn't be fearful in. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, people use their blood, and people say, I want to have a connection with this entity, with this spirit. Wouldn't it be a more direct connection when you use your DNA? But then again, you're susceptible to hackers. You get what I'm saying? But if you happen to get drunk, which is why they call it alcohol, they call them spirits. Don't forget, you get all wavy, you get all twisted, and you happen to fall and bust your face. That blood that you got out, that blood that you're leaking, that shit is up for grabs. Why do you think that people, they get angry and they fight, and people start to fight each other when they're drunk? Blood's starting to get shed there. How much energy is getting drained from that situation? You know what I'm saying? So if you start to do things on a little bit more of a conscious level, how to manage your accounts and your energies, it's going to be very beneficial for you. Okay? But it's also very beneficial to look at everything outside of you as an extension of you. You don't see, a lot of people do magic or they'll do things for self-serving reasons. It's very ignorant to think that way, and it's very ignorant to put fear into other people, because if see, this is the thing. This is you, all this is in your head. Now, I can use this outside as a blueprint to what's going on within me. But if I'm creating the havoc, then I'm the parasite, I'm the fungus. You get what I'm saying? So I'm supposed to be putting things in a way where it's going to be what you would consider heaven for you. But then again, what's heaven to you may not be heaven for another. Because what you value in life may be garbage to other people. Where I live, I happen to feel like I'm a millionaire. I'm not going to lie. It's not big. It's cozy, and it's got everybody I invite to my place says, man, I feel good energy here. But because we keep the place clean, there's a lot of plants. There's a lot of good stuff going on there. You get what I'm saying? So here's the thing. I'm going to quickly put it on this. Through these times, if what's on your mind is the apocalypse, then you're going to experience the apocalypse. But don't forget, people say, well, we're all in the same planet. So if we're going to go through the apocalypse, then you're going to go through the apocalypse. If there's something that really is going to happen. But you know what? Here's how it works. The person that is always thinking about the apocalypse will actually experience it, while the other one may just hear about it on the news. That's the difference. It will still happen, but the other one will be safe and sound. He'll just get it. He or she will just get it from the news or from a video on YouTube. Okay? So that's how the very few will make it. You know, and how you respond, how you and look at plants, bro. You know, plants, for example, measure their temperature. You know what I mean? They take water from the root and they sweat. You see, because here's the thing, you can control your body temperature through sweat. Your body does it by itself. You know what I'm saying? You could do that through breath as well. Okay? And you could do that through using your imagination. The way you feel the environment, you want to become the environment. You know what I'm saying? But it all comes down to using your imagination. All right? Do the work means use your body. People they're not using their body. Their body is just a consumer. And you feed into the addictions by eating things that taste good when they're really not doing anything for you. It's just because that's all going to be depending on how your gene expression. You know what I'm saying? How you feel. If you're low vibrational, you're sick also. Why do you think they say, oh, that person looks so vibrant? You know what I'm saying? Or they say, oh, that person's not sound. Because you emit a frequency. Now, why do I say that it might be frequency manipulation going on out here? Because I'm going to drop this gem to you. You can heal yourself through what you use as 5 senses. There's aromatherapy. There's sound therapy, binaural beats. If you start to listen to certain frequencies, you can actually activate DNA, right? Don't think that these weapons that are outside here don't work on the contrary to what you're doing. But don't forget, through that opposition is where you find your true power. You get what I'm saying? It's about how you stand your ground. There's massage therapy, touch. All right. There's what was the other one? Color therapy. You get what I'm saying? And what you're eating can also heal you, but it depends what you're eating. See, people, what they take out, because I'm doing gardening, I can tell you about 7 different type of weeds that I'm growing out here. What people will pull out and consider weeds, I consider nutrients. Where I don't have to go to the supermarket. I can just eat a couple of those weeds and I'm going to be nourished and my body won't feel hungry. And if I sun gaze, now I'm charging my body up. Become Superman. You get what I'm saying? This is going to be a lesson for everybody on what you can actually go through, whether it be a real experience or not, whatever the reasons may be. Okay? If you're going to use your blood, right? If you're going to use your semen, if you're going to use your sweat, if you're going to use your tears, use it to your advantage. Because it's a code. You log into your computer with that. These energies that you are trying to connect with, these energies, these entities, these spirits, there are you. And this is the thing. This isolation from the public, this is 2020. Clarity. I'm talking to people and I'm literally learning something from everybody all the time. You got to put yourself in that frequency to attract that. Okay? So you attract that through appreciation and from an unconditional space. Okay? So that's all I have. We'll talk soon.